I often get asked if I think that AI is going to replace writers in games. No, I don't. And I have a really good example recently of why. And so this is from I watched the video from AI in Games. It's a really good channel about AI in games. I do not mean to mock the creator at all. And everybody at Ubisoft, hey, you got a job. It's cool. Sure. But this is the demo, their GDC demo from playing with Ubisoft Neo. And this really exemplifies something. So earlier today, I had actually made a video and put it in drafts because I'm like, I already posted 2 videos, too many videos I'm doing today. And that was from a reader or a person on YouTube who had commented that they thought open world games had become bland because they're just filled with a bunch of junk you run around and do. And that is what they become to me as well. And I was going to kind of ask about that. But let me play you a little clip, just a little clip here of the opening of this AI bit.
Okay, Bloom, sounds good. What have you got planned for me?
Well, I was thinking of grabbing a few drinks and getting to know each other a bit better. Maybe even brainstorm some cool ideas for taking down those pesky mega corporations. How does that sound to you?
So right away you notice pesky mega corporations, like it's already bland, it's already milquetoast, right? And so they're doing this thing that drives me nuts, and I see this a lot of non-writers do this. It's a very engineering way to solve a problem. Is they've created a bunch of lore. Lore is not story. Lore is lore. Lore is not interesting of itself. Lore is not expressed in any way in a game except through dialogue. And then you can have other ways to do it as a background, but players want to play the game. This is an exploration of lore, right? Look at the goal here. It is to speak to Bloom, to get closer to Bloom. That means like you have to navigate this weird fake dude talking to you about stuff you don't care about. And he's going to tell you about his 3rd grade teacher. And you're like, hey, dude, I want to get to the next scene. I want to skip this. How do I skip this? He's like, well, at the cocktail bar, you can get beer. There's a hoppy beer. There's a beer that is darker. There's like, oh my God, just stop. So writing in games is not lore. Writing in games is also about removing dialogue. So Left 4 Dead, the original Left 4 Dead series, in particular, where we had a lot of time and we would just go back. We would go back and edit. We would go back and remove things. We would go back and hone things so that you could have personality, you could have information, and maybe in that game you had comedy, right? And you do that as a craft. It's an art. It is not going out and finding an Excel spreadsheet and figuring out how do we regurgitate this back to players. Right? That is bland. That is boring. But that's what Ubisoft is doing, right? Because Ubisoft, back to the earlier point, really has this idea that more is more. And so Far Cry 4, I like Far Cry 4 a lot. And Far Cry 4, I'm going to be like, hey, this ammo bag, I can go kill 4 of these creatures and I can get a bigger ammo bag, or I can go open up more of the map by taking down that tower or clearing off that base. Like it all has impact into the world, and I'm doing things and I'm choosing, but I have a whole bunch of things to choose from and it feels good. And Far Cry 6, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go flick this switch, because if I flick 12 of these switches, I get a thing that says I flicked 12 switches. Congratulations, Chad. You did good. Right? It's like, come on. Like they just fill it with it. And you know why they do that, right? Because Ubisoft is a giant company. And so they have like 5,000 people working on the game. And so they want to have a team over here. And they're like, hey, team over here, you go do some, I don't know, just go do something we can do in an open world game. I don't know, fill it with something. Don't worry about having it have personality. Don't worry about having it have character. Don't worry about having story. It's not art. It's just filling time. So here, flick switches. Really? We're just going to flick switches? Yeah. It's going to be cool though, because you're going to flick like 12 of them and it's going to be awesome. Really? 12? Wow. Okay. And they're like, yeah, we designed this mission. What do? You flick switches. And what does it do for the revolution thing we're going on with or whatever? Don't worry. Don't worry about that. Cuba. Yeah, there's some switching, flipping going. Yeah, you know. Right, it's so bland because it's not drawing on any personality. It's not drawing on any characters. It is just bland. And this is like where people are like, I don't want politics in my game because I'm a dumbass. So they can't take Helldivers 2 because it's got personality in it and it's sending up their right-wing politics. That's personality. That's got edge to it, right? And so that now, like, did you see that Helldivers 2 Twitter account is sitting there posting stuff in binary and then deleting it because they're telling a story. They're playing things. They're pulling on their lore. They're just not regurgitating their lore to you. See, so when people talk about writing in games, am I worried about it? No, I'm not worried about AI taking over. I'll be dead soon enough. But like, here, I'm going to just bring up the screenshot of this, right? So what's your goal of this scene? To get closer to Bloom. No one wants to do that, right? So like, all this is just crap. All this is crap. They're going to cut this soon enough, and they're just going to fire a bunch of writers and blah. So the only thing I'm worried about is that there's this movement to make games blander, to make games safer, to make games have not a personality. I don't want to meet anybody who I haven't seen at my Walgreens. Oh, Walgreens, Walmart. They probably don't even go as edgy as Walgreens. Oh my God, at Walgreens. Walmart's edgy cousin. I can't go there. They sell Pepsi, not Coke. There's this blandness overtaking everything. And so when someone pushes for blandness, or this AI stuff, oh my God, seriously, I'm not kidding. Okay, I did not get through the full video. I should make a response video to the video. I'll link to it. You can watch it. Because at the end of it, I think it was like on his third time, and he's just like, well, a Kolsch beer is a spring beer made lighter for people like, who cares? I want to kill people. Like, pesky megacorps though. Okay, no personality there. They didn't do anything bad. They're just pesky. Like, sorry, I'm hitting my plate here because I'm losing my mind. Because I made another video. I made an earlier video and it was just filled with profanity. And I'm like, this is gonna get flagged. It's gonna get flagged. Someone's gonna get all up in a. Oh God! See, I can't say anything now because I'm gonna say it in a way that would be offensive. But so, am I worried about AI taking over writing in games? No, because it is bland as hell. It's always gonna be bland. It is a storehouse of lore that people think you just pull from, and that's writing. And it's always an engineer who says that. It's not a writer who says that. No writer's saying that. Maybe this is why there's like one game company I just can't handle their games because they are just lore regurgitation. They're an engineer-heavy game company. Not a surprise. But like, am I worried about it long term? Well, I'm worried about like that there's this movement to make the world blander, that, hey, it's got to be generic. It's got to be milquetoast. It's got to be just the most blandest thing ever because I just want the mechanics, right? That I worry about because I think all games are art. All games are like interesting explorations. Everything comes from a point of view and it doesn't just get stomped down. So it's just like, oh my God, this is so boring. In this demo is the most boring crap I've seen since the NVIDIA AI writing demo. So I ask you, I implore you, do you want to have good writing in games? Then just reject crap like this. Just tell Ubisoft, no, this is just junk. This is really, because it's just filling a game with more stuff. And what you want, I think, as a player is to have agency into the world. And having that agency to be able to do and act through that world. And yeah, you want to have that world respond to you. This isn't responding to you. This isn't responding to you. Oh, but no, I asked him a question and he answered it. No. He has this storehouse of knowledge he's drawing on. He's going to babble it out no matter what. You're going to hear about his third grade teacher. What kind of beer did she like? Huh, Bloom? Huh? Oh my God. The only thing that would make this demo good is if you could pull out a 45 and shoot Bloom in the head. That would be a good demo. Like, they should just have the blandest AI character just spewing this garbage. And you're about to fall asleep. They finally hand you a gun and you're allowed to shoot one character and it's Bloom. And then they're like, congratulations, you've saved the world. So please help me save the world.